Hello and welcome to the MSTieCast. I'm Toby Mobius.
I'm Josh McLeod.
I'm Justin Toner.
And we are back for the first full episode of 2016. Happy New Year, everyone. No? Okay.
I hate New Year's, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's already off to a pretty bad start.
Yeah.
Alan Rickman,
David Bowie.
Glenn Frey, the mayor from Ghostbusters.
Peter Frampton.
Did Peter Frampton die?
He did, but then he came alive, so it's okay.
I don't know. I'm too young to die. Aren't you supposed to be at Keith Richards' house?
Yeah, it's cancer sucks. That's all I'm going to say about that.
And it's weird. It was Bowie was 69, Rickman was 69, Glenn Frey was 67.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Really young.
Weird. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about what are we here to talk about? I forgot.
Mystery Science Theater 3000, episode 520.
Episode 520, which was
Radar Secret Service.
Yep.
Radar Secret Service. So, which episode was that?
It was episode 520.
Yeah, but what happened in it?
Yeah.
Well, if you want,
Hang on.
I guess a synopsis of the plot of the movie, or are we talking about just the episode in general?
Yes.
Let's see here, and I quote from Kit Parker Films. It's science versus crime when agents of a foreign power working with local gangsters, including Tom Neal, steal a truck loaded with secret atomic materials. And the members of the Secret Service's new radar unit, including John Howard and Ralph Dick Tracy Bird, use the latest technology to run down the lawbreakers. That was only one sentence, and that was way more interesting than that movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds like a really good movie.
Man, I wish we'd watch that.
It sounds better on paper than in execution.
Yeah.
Because, dear God, is this movie boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I watched the entire movie, could not tell you any of the characters' names.
I
couldn't tell you anything that happens.
This movie's more
Someone
about
gets shot at the end. That's about it.
Yeah, this movie's more about promoting Radar than it is about the plot. About how awesome Radar is. Radar allows them to catch the criminals. Radar does this. Radar does that.
It'd be like if they made it today, but like it was firewalls or something like that.
It's like Amazon drones or something weird.
Yes, or drones. But it was about drones.
Yeah.
It was the video feeds they were getting from the radar looked like they were feeds from drones. It's like this movie was made in 1950, ladies and gentlemen. This is how ridiculous.
It's like solving a crime with YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's what this movie would be.
Which I'm sure has been done. I'm sure that's been done at some point, but I don't think there's a division dedicated of the United States Secret Service that's solely dedicated to solving crimes via YouTube. I could be wrong, but I don't think that there is that.
I would watch that movie.
Yeah.
A good 45 minutes of the film is just cat videos.
Yeah.
Oh. And they're driving around with a big dome on top of their car, and it's the radar thing.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, and they chase them through the same fields like twice. Did you notice that, Josh?
Yeah,
how they use the same wooded area twice?
Yeah. I mean, this movie was
This is terrible.
This movie was probably filmed in. I can't imagine it took more than a week to film. In fact, I've heard rumors that some of the Lippert films were literally finished within 72 hours. Of filming.
Really? 72 hours?
I am pretty sure I read that some, maybe not this one, but some of the westerns were filmed in less than 72 hours. So.
I can see this thing being filmed in less than a week.
Yeah.
Alright, what happened to all that money we had for the film? We ran out of it. Why?
Maybe they gave it to Sid.
Got ice cream. Well, we gotta have a film for him by the end of the week.
I know, let's just film a car going around in circles and, I don't know, maybe we can get some help. My buddy owns a radar company. Maybe we can get some kickback.
Why not?
But yeah, that's the... Go ahead, Justin.
I just love how this, just like Lippert's previous movie, King Dinosaur, you have Sid Melton trying to be the... Doesn't work.
Can you repeat
Although
that?
there was one scene that
wait, Justin, can you start over? You cut out for a minute there.
Okay. It's funny how this movie, like the previous Robert Lippert production, Lost Continent, that they ripped way back in season 2, you had the Sid Melton trying to be the comic relief and mostly not working, except for one scene that outside of the riffing my friend actually laughed at. Other than that, it's just kind of like, yeah, he's kind of...
I have in my notes, Sid Melton played Pillbox. If he weren't in this movie, I swear to God, I would have no idea who the good guys were and the bad guys were.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, my friend and I made jokes about how like the one gang leader and the head Secret Service agent both had almost same like big mustaches. It's hard to tell sometimes.
You know what they really needed? They really needed like uniforms. Some kind of like distinct clothing to kind of distinguish the good guys from the bad guys. I don't know what that would have been.
A badge would have been nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's got all these. Oh, sorry. It's got all these like subplots for like the bad guys, like how like the girl is like plotting with the other guy to get rid of the other guy, and the one girlfriend of the one guy that they did capture is like trying to get him out of jail, and they're like, yeah, screw him. So she ends up turning on him and helping the Secret Service arrest them. It's just like, what's the point?
Yeah, it's like a fish called Wanda, except John Cleese isn't in his underwear and there's no fish.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, like, I remember the host segments in the short way more than I remember the movie in this one.
Oh, the short in this episode is fantastic. Last Clear Chance. Probably, I think maybe, I don't know if you said this before, Justin, or somebody, this is definitely one of like the darkest like short subject films they ever ripped on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. God, the only other one is the other driving short, or the other kind of safety short from them, which is Days of Our Years, which also sort of falls into that. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, because like it starts with a funeral. Okay,
yeah.
This short starts with a funeral because, and then it's like, yeah, this young guy, he's dead because he was stupid.
Now I want to ask this question. So the twist, I mean, I guess if you want to call it a twist, the twist is that, spoiler alert for this old short, is that the older brother is the one who gets killed. Did you guys see that coming? Because I honestly don't remember.
I actually didn't. I thought, because like they were emphasizing about, like, especially the cop was like, to the younger brother who just got his license and he'd been driving around without a license, they were like, oh, you need to be careful, son. You're just starting on the road. And it's his brother who's the experienced driver who ends up getting killed by not paying attention and getting hit by the train.
Well, in his defense, the police officer didn't say not to do increasingly stupid things while driving, so...
Mm-hmm.
Can you blame him?
I loved how the girlfriend survived, like with like minor injuries, but he was like dead on impact.
I thought they both died. I thought she was being... Because it doesn't seem like she's being carted off in an ambulance. It seems like she's being...
No, she was going to the ambulance. She wasn't covered up. She was, like, on a stretcher going to the ambulance. He was covered up going into the hearse.
Well, they were taking their sweet-ass time getting to the emergency room.
They were. Why don't they look? Why don't they? But the riffing on the short, though, it was just so good.
But I get the feeling there's like millions of shorts out there like this. I mean, maybe not this dark, but that are trying to, I guess, deter you to keep. Oh, there is one. There is one that was pretty dark. X Marks the Spot.
Oh, absolutely, X Marks the Spot.
Oh yeah,
that one was pretty dark, and it was about driving.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's this was a big thing back then, was, like these kind of safety films about, like, be careful driving, or be careful doing this, or don't do that. Heck, they that went into the 70s, like the safety woman shorts that Rip Trax dug up over the years. It's like, oh, you need to be careful. Don't, start a fire if you're going to cook something on the stove and things like that. The intent is good. It's just the execution is what makes it laughable and rippable. Yeah, I really liked the riffing on the short. That killed me. This fight, I was like, oh my god, he's dead. It's terrible. And all the radar jokes are definitely a lot of fun for the movie, though.
Oh yeah.
like evidence that Christ himself created radar. Unfortunately, radar, we can now get National Network, or.
Which, by the way, for those of you who don't know, the Nashville Network was eventually turned into Spike TV. So,
yeah, when we were watching that, my friend and I both said, when we were watching this episode like about a week ago, it was like, that's a really dated riff now. Probably most people who grew up in the last 50, 60 years have no idea what the National Network is.
Or as I like to call it, the MXC Network, but that's for now.
Actually, a few years ago, the Nashville Network came back, but then it folded and became the Heartland Network.
Really?
Yeah.
This is news to me.
Yeah, I was reading up on it earlier. See, I do research.
Okay.
I love how Crow said the guy who was running the radar at the Secret Service headquarters, boy, the government would collapse without this guy, because he's doing everything.
That's the thing. There's always that one guy who's quintessential to the success of the secret organization. He's really the star of the movie. It's just the camera. I'm trying to think if there was another example. There's got to be.
Your attention, please.
I guess Money.
Radar.
I guess Moneypenny would be a good example.
Yeah.
So do we want to go through the host segments?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the first host segment is Mike trying to repair Crow, which
goes horribly wrong.
Turns him into Arnold Horseshack.
Of course.
Now, do you guys hate Welcome Back, Kotter like everyone in my family does?
Don't hate it.
Don't hate it.
Not really
I'm
it's not a favorite of mine. But
I mean, both my mother and my father hated that show. And I guess I hate it too, even though I've never really seen an episode, so.
I've only seen a little bit of it. It's not that bad. It's
What's sad is that I've never seen a single episode, yet I can name all 4 of the Sweat Hogs.
Well, it's a pop culture thing.
So then we go to the thing. Oh! Here's something. I think this is one of, if not the first episode that doesn't have an invention exchange.
Yes. There is no invention exchange in this episode.
So, what do we think of that, losing the invention exchange?
Well, that was more Joel's thing. So it made sense of that. I think they were trying to keep it around just to honor Joel, but then I guess Mike and them probably felt that it didn't really fit with Mike. So they eventually phased it out, and I think it's fine without it. That was more Joel's thing and allowed just more straight up comedy. I like the invention exchanges. They're some of my favorite host segments are invention exchanges, but that was trying to do something that Joel did trying to pass it on to Mike, and it didn't. Wasn't say it didn't work, but I guess they felt that maybe it just wasn't a right fit for Mike as a character.
Here's something I noticed.
Go ahead.
I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but instead of the invention exchange, because Mike doesn't really do those, they started having him do a new escape plan instead each episode.
He did that, and then in I think Teenage Crime Wave, he does the thing where he tries to... now that I think about it, in Season 6, kind of going forward, because I remember there was one in Kitten with a Whip. I think there was one in...
Especially in Season 5, which made sense, and I like that, because, he's just been in the satellite for a short while, so he's still thinking, I want to get the hell out of here, and trying to come up with a way for them to escape. Well, of course, not going to work, but at least he's trying. But then eventually, he settles in just like Joel does, just like, all right, I'm here for the long haul.
Now, something that I think is weird is because the escape plan that Mike hatches is he wants to take all the clothes and tie them together. The old prison escape trope that you see in every bad 40s prison movie.
He's gone a little crazy.
Yeah. Well, he ties underwear together, but it's not Servo that freaks out of the underwear. It's Crow. Crow freaks out of the underwear. You'd think it would be Servo.
Yeah.
because of his underwear collection.
Well, you can't get between Crow and his underwear. My question is, why does Gypsy have a bra?
I don't know. Why does Servo have pantyhose? I mean, why are there pantyhose on the ship?
Yes.
It's just a show. We should just relax.
Yeah.
But for the record, that's going to be our trope anytime there's no answer to the question. So.
Well, what's funny is going into, as far as the 9th season, this could have worked.
Yeah.
Well, they do that in the 9th season where he just throws down a ladder and climbs down.
Yeah, it could have worked if he had not gotten into Castle Forrester. Otherwise, it probably would have worked.
It did. Almost. And then on the flip side, Dr. Forrester thinks he can one-up deep hurting and rock climbing with hypnoheliostatic stasis, and no.
I mean, was this worse than... Have we all seen Lost Continent and Hercules Against the Moonmen?
Moonmen? Oh, yes. I've seen all three.
I have not seen Lost Continent. I have seen Hercules Against the Moonmen.
Okay, was this worse than Sandstorm?
No. Sandstorm is still the worst for me.
No.
I do think it kind of has a one-up on rock climbing, though.
It does. A little.
Okay.
See, I wouldn't say this is worse than any of them, just because you don't remember it, so it's not really painful.
I mean,
that's the thing. The Sandstorm is memorable from Hercules Against the Moonmen. It's like deep hurting is deep hurting. I was more amused by I think I can one up this stuff with this, and it's like no, sorry, Dr. F, not this time.
Well, I mean, in theory, theoretically, it should be the movies are getting worse and worse, but they never really. I mean, it obviously varies from episode to episode. You'll get.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the story about how they chose Radar Secret Service to be on the show?
No, I've never heard that.
Okay. Well, they originally wanted to do it. Okay, and this is from the episode guide. So this is a fun story. Well, I find it fun. I don't know if everyone else will, but they wanted to do it in season 2.
Wow.
Because if you remember, in season 2, that's when they got all those Lippert movies. That's when they got like King Dinosaur, Jungle Goddess, etc. But for some reason that no one seems to know is they were told, okay, you can do this movie, and then at a certain point they were like, they had it pulled from them. Like it was pulled out from under them. They're like, oh, sorry, you guys can't do Radar Secret Service. We couldn't get the rights to it. And then it was offered to them again in season 5. And they're like, oh, yeah, I remember that was so much fun. Let's do that one. And then they said, we want to do Radar Secret Service. And then they got it, and they were like, why the hell did we want to do this one?
That's a good question.
They forget everything about it, too.
Yeah.
That is funny. I like that. Yeah, it is interesting because that's when they did a ton of Lippert stuff in season 2. There was 3 movies at least. King Dinosaur, Lost Continent, Jungle Goddess,
and Rocket Ship XM. So that's 4.
Yep. Which, as we found out from Jordan Fields, Hill Lippert was involved in that. But
yeah, he was the original because it was.
It's going to take a miracle to get.
Well, the thing with Lippert films is a lot of them are very by the book. They're very cut from a certain. They're almost like stamped. They're almost like stamped out of a book when you think about it. And again, we got a lot of the more distinct. We got a lot of the more distinct ones, but this movie, it really feels like a movie that they wouldn't have. That they would have gotten lots of movies like this, or they would have gotten similar movies that they wouldn't have done. Like this seems like the kind of movie that they would have passed on. I imagine that they saw hundreds of movies like this where it was just greasy guys, running around in suits, hanging out in offices, solving problems. But this just feels like the kind of movie they would have passed on most cases. But for some reason, this one kind of slips through. And I mean, it's not horrible. It's not deplorable. It just is. It just is. It's like, even Atomic Brain is a little bit more distinct than this movie.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. There's nothing remarkable about this movie. It's just there. It's just one of those movies it kind of just goes by and you're kind of like, eh.
Yeah, Atomic Brain is like a bad episode of The Twilight Zone. This is a really, really, really boring episode of Dragnet without any of the things that make Dragnet fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Oh my god. Radar used.
See,
Joe Friday was in this, it'd kick it up a notch.
That wouldn't make
the second whole segment is they parodied the Last Clear Chance short with Tom being the state trooper and the Why Don't They Look, which I liked that. I thought it was funny.
It was good. What was the next sketch? No, don't tell me. I'll remember the next sketch. I'm not supposed to ask.
Yes.
Radar. It was something that didn't relate to the movie.
Yeah.
Correct.
Would you like a hint?
You know, when
it was the class of '83 Hungry Like the Wolf reunion, which
they basically the bots tried to recreate Mike's 10-year high school reunion for him.
Yeah.
And then segment number 4, the
Quinn Martin,
yeah, Mike and
Nature Preserve.
Mike and Crow kind of start losing it with the Quinn Martin Nature Preserve, and Tom calls them out saying, "The hypnoheliostatic stasis is getting to you. Snap out of it."
What was the best?
And then
Quinn
they
Martin
come up with
show?
an antidote.
Yeah, it's weird that they would later do a Quinn Martin show on the show. Yeah.
Well, it's funny they wouldn't tackle a Quinn Martin thing until next season with Codename Diamond Head.
It's weird that they would do it. Yeah. But I guess it's one of those things where you kind of have to do it. Like, if you're offered a Quinn Martin movie, you kind of have to rip it, but whatever. Yeah. And then the final segment is they beat it with, do we all know what the
trying to remember off the top of my head, I can't think of it.
It had a bunch of E's.
Expo Euphoria Fun with Hinder 90. With patented Hinder 90.
Oh, yes. That's
Expo Euphoria Fun. Patented Hinder 90. Let's see here. So... apparently, not unlike Riding with Death, Radar apparently has magical cameras hanging out all over the world that enable to zoom. Yeah,
that's the only explanation for them to be able to see stuff on the road, like modern day TV cameras. It's amazing. I'll admit, I'm not fond of the Stinger.
I think the Stinger was good.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay.
I thought it was good. We won't spoil what it is because that's the one thing I don't think we should spoil. But
yeah, no.
I think it was very good. I disagree.
Okay.
I think because what else was there?
Nothing really. it probably was the best choice.
Yeah, there really wasn't anything memorable in the movie.
I guess the only thing. Well, they rarely used they rarely took the Stinger from the short. I mean, you could have done Why Don't They Look, but.
I don't know. Why don't they look? I mean, it doesn't. It's not a weird moment the way something like that was.
I think you're right, Josh. The other choice from the movie definitely is more.
You kind of. I mean, funny. You can't take something. I don't know. But anyway, let's see here. One more job. Bring our cameras. Oh, this episode had 2 Dan Fogelberg references. That's something.
Dan Fogelberg, you say?
Oh, didn't they make a reference to waffles in this? It was like, Willy the waffle.
Willy
the waffle whistle.
The weird waffle whistle thing, yeah. I'm going through the notes. I like that we're recording this episode the day after Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which makes it only appropriate that we're talking about a film with a character named Blackie in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
day after which was Martin Luther. It's not Blackie. It's African American.
We've really come great as a nation where we, I guess. I mean, could you get away with putting a character named Blackie in a movie today? Like even in a non-ironic way, could you really get away with that in today's culture?
I don't see how.
No.
Although, Tarantino can get away with using the N-word a lot in his movies.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, this was not ironic. This was not doing it for the sake. This was literally his name was Blackie.
Yeah.
I think you can only get away with that if it's a cat.
Yeah. Or some kind of animal. Yeah.
Yeah, an animal.
Well, that's literally all the notes I have.
I think that pretty much sums it up. I mean...
And I don't know a damn thing about this film. If you know anything about the making of this film, please write in.
I really only remember there was a reference to MASH.
Yeah.
That was about it, because the guy played Radar O'Reilly.
Yeah, I do remember
the
yeah, I remember that joke. My friend and I picked up on that one. But yeah, this I mean, the short for this one is good. The riffing for the movie style is just the movie's just ugh. So I give this I would give this a recommendation. At least give it a try, but it's definitely not. It depends. I mean, the movie might bore your mind out, and you might not be able to enjoy the rest.
The funny thing is, I'm not going to say her name, but it's someone who we've had on the show before said, like, this is one of her favorite episodes. And it's like, and I've heard people list this as a favorite. I don't know why, but I don't know. It just leaves nothing. And again, I liked Red Zone Cuba. So I don't.
I swear it's someone that we talked to not too long ago said this. They really liked this episode. I can't remember who it is.
Oh God, the movie's affecting you. You can't remember anything related to the movie.
The movie was so forgettable, I forgot that the episode was not memorable.
I forgot math.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Oh God, we need to wrap this thing up. Any final notes about Radar Secret Service?
No, I think you pretty much covered it pretty good.
What's Radar Secret Service?
Radar Secret Service was a 1950 movie written and directed by Sam Neufeld, who directed The Mad Monster, I Accuse My Parents, and Lost Continent.
Produced by Mr.
Okay, but why are we talking about it?
I believe it was featured in episode 520 of the cult television show Mystery Science Theater 3000.
I like that show.
Yeah.
What's this movie about?
There was a short. Remember the short? Wasn't that short awesome?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There was a driving short. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the short. Which episode was that on?
I don't know. Well, it was on a short compilation, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
I sure hope Sid Melton's children aren't listening to this.
I guess since we can't remember what we were talking about, we should probably end the episode.
Yeah.
Real quick, does anyone have a riff I can go out on?
Oh God, it's got to be from the episode.
It definitely.
She's rather pillowy.
That's a good one. Maybe we can lift something from the short.
Yeah, you will love Radar. Give yourself to it freely.
Let's actually go with that one.
Okay, yeah.
Go with that one. Okay, we'll cut this out.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks for listening. I'm Toby Mobius, I think.
I'm Pillbox.
I'm Justin Toner.
And this has been the MSTieCast. You will love Radar. You will give yourself to it freely.
Whoa.
Now, poopy.